And there's been a couple penalty killers who have been out as of late, but younger players have stepped up. How have you seen this penalty kill, despite having injuries, been able to still be really strong in the past 10 games?
Yeah, we just you don't have a choice. You got to kill penalties when they're there, and you need guys to go out there and do the job. So we've had guys step up and some absences of some key players. So the penalty kill has done a pretty good job overall of especially the Pittsburgh game, and then I think we allowed one there, and that it was a 4-on-3, I believe, in the last game. But when you look at the overall game of the penalty kill, it's stepped up huge for us recently.
When you look at the shift where it kind of struggled, the penalty kill a little bit in November and December, but then now it's back to really great numbers. What kind of changed to get back towards that beginning season form?
A good question. Honestly, there's good players. There's good power plays around the league, no matter who you play. So I don't know if we necessarily changed a bunch. It just make sure our attention to detail was all there. Have good sticks, be in shot lanes, and when there is shots that are getting through, just make sure the goalie can see them and make the stops when the puck gets through. So. We have 4 penalty killers, sometimes 3 depending, but I guess in normal power play you have 4 penalty killers, and then our goalie is pretty much our most important penalty killer because he's our last line of defense and nets. So you got to give credit to those guys as well for stopping the pucks when we do give up good opportunities for the other team.
I know this is an obvious question, but what sense of pride do you all get when, like, especially in a Pittsburgh game, when the penalty killing was so good, it was a difference maker?
Yeah, it's just important. It's an important piece of the game, and the special teams can win games and lose you games. So it's huge. I'm on both sides of things with the power play and the penalty kills. So anytime you get a chance on both of it, you want to be able to make a difference. You want to score on one of the things, and then you want to keep the puck out of your net on the other end. So we're going to try to limit our penalties. Obviously, it was a little crazy last couple games here with the penalties and some of the kills we've had to I guess endure, but. It's tough as well. It takes some guys minutes away that don't play the penalty kill and the special team stuff. So we're going to try to limit that and just try to keep it even strength. And we feel we can, play real good hockey when we're at even.
What are some of those things that you need to do to limit those penalties?
Just smart. There's some things that you can't really do much about because things happen in a game, little fluky things. But just smart plays, good with our sticks, moving our feet, not getting caught in bad situations.
We constantly talk about practice being a really great catalyst to making the small little changes that this team needs to make. What are some of the focuses that you had in today's practice heading into the Detroit game?
We're just trying to really get our feet moving again today in practice. We had the day off yesterday, so just kind of get our feet moving. We're kind of got a few guys banged up here and there, so wanted to make sure, get some guys healthy, and when we're on the guys that are on the ice working on things, just chipping the puck in deep, making plays offensively, defensively. We want to make sure we're shutting it down. So a lot of the work today was more, I guess, forward space for them to score some goals, and not a lot of fun for the D in today's practice, but that's the way it goes. There's some practices where D get a lot more fun than the forwards. So if we can, we kind of hit a dry spell a little bit recently with some goal scoring. So if we can kind of get that to uptick again, it'll should help our game.
You've actually stepped up on some of the penalty kill minutes with some of the injuries. How have you felt that you've been able to adapt into that more specialized part of the game?
Yeah, it's fun. It's something I want to do. Be out there killing penalties, and with that too, you get more ice time. You get touch the puck more and all that. So it's a lot of fun for sure, and hopefully I do a good job and help the teams try to win a hockey game.
Penalty kill has been really strong in the last 10 games, killing off 9 penalties against Pittsburgh. What were some of the little details that you all were doing well in order to be successful?
No, we had a good attention to detail, I think. We didn't get a lot of great chances, and we kept it as we wanted, I feel like, and especially that game was a good game for sure.
How do you adjust your game when you're thrown into a situation like that? It's such a specialized part of the game.
Not that much, to be honest. I used to be alert what's going on around you, and I feel like that's a good thing with my game. I feel like I read the game pretty well, so it's a lot of fun for sure.
How have some of the veterans on the penalty kill, like Eric Haula, really helped you adapt into it?
No, it's been great. Just looking at him helps a lot, and just doing the right things and stuff. So, and then obviously, if one step wrong, he tells you that. So it's good for sure.
How is this team really working on moving forward, getting 3 points in the last 4 games with today's practice?
Yeah, we're in a good place, right? But we still gotta keep getting better, take one game at a time, and for tomorrow today was to get the body going a little bit and work on some stuff. So we're for sure ready ready for tomorrow.
Eric, when you have players that are typically on the penalty kill out, like John Marino or Ryan Graves, who just returned, how do the other players step up in their absence?
Yeah, it's just all about doing your job. Penalty kill is obviously just preventing goals against, and then it's hard work. You got to do things that are not always fun, blocking shots and just battling just all defense. So, I think guys did a great job. We let in that 5-on-3 goal, but in Pittsburgh, that eventually, won the game for us, and so I think we got to be pretty happy how we played as of late on the PK.
The PK was great to start the season, went down a little bit, but now it's back. In the past 10 games, 5 goals against over 28 opportunities. What was the biggest shift to get back to the beginning of the season ways with that?
I don't know, hard to say. Sometimes, some bounces, it just happens to go in, and I think our structure for the most part has been good, and I think Gilly does a good job with us on the PK, and he's been known to be on teams that have a good percentage, and I think we have a good unit, and hoping to continue.
When you look at a game like Pittsburgh, 9 penalties, and you killed off all of them, how much pride do you get as a group that you went out there, you had the block shots, you had the effort, and that made a difference in that game?
Yeah, no, it's great, and it's rewarding for all the guys who have to sit all those minutes, as well as that the guys are getting the job done, and eventually, like I said, it helped us win the game, and sometimes that's the difference, right? It's especially when we get to this last stretch here, special teams are going to be huge, so penalty kill is a vital part of it, and obviously we're looking to get some goals on the other side as well.
Of course, some of the penalties might have been controversial, but how does this team limit some of the penalties it's taking as of late?
Yeah, I think that's a good question, and something that we got to focus on a little bit, and myself included, I've had some stick penalties, and it's just it's all about just focus and just taking just kind of focusing a little bit on just keeping your stick on the ice, and we all know we played the game long enough, what we can do better in that aspect, and especially late in games.
Lindy has talked about changing around some of the lines, and Dawson Mercer played with you and Jack for a little bit. What did you think he brought to that line, and you guys were able to find some scoring success on it?
Yeah, no, it's we played with Mercer earlier, and we've had some success. So it's obviously a different look when Bradder's there, or when he's there, or if somebody else is there. But I find that Bradder and Jack are very, very similar in some ways, and Merce brings a little bit of more straight lines and kind of play more inside the dots. So I think there's a big difference right there.
And today's practice, a lot of high-intensity drills, a lot of 2-on-1 situations. What were some of the biggest takeaways that this group needs to take from the practice?
Yeah, I think the emphasis is just we've kind of struggled a little bit as of late, but it's a new year. We got 3 out of 4 points, last 2 games, and now it's time to kick it in gear. And we talk about little things that we can work on, and obviously we need to be better in certain areas. But we're excited for the opportunity tomorrow.
Indeed, we didn't see Tatar or Hischer on the ice. Are there any updates on them?
Both were held off the ice for maintenance, and both will be available to play tomorrow.
When you look at some of the penalty killers that have been injured and other players have stepped up like Boqvist, how have you seen them be able to take on such a specialized part of the game?
Well, I think what you see in practice is that you have a number of those players that are being utilized every time we're working on the power play, and you got to have the next guy ready if one of those guys can't make it through. And Nico was nursing a little bit of an injury late in the game, which cost some shifts, so other guys had to step in and take a spot.
There was a period of time where the penalty kill was struggling a little bit, a couple goals against the game, but in the past 10 games, it's really been outstanding, especially against Pittsburgh. What was the biggest change you've seen in that adjustment going back to start of season levels?
Well, again, I think there are times where you're not quite in the shot lane, that you're allowing shots to get to the net. Sometimes those shots will go in, sometimes it's a second opportunity. I think we're, small areas, like we're getting the clears when we need them. When you get the puck on your stick and you get it down the ice, when you're struggling, I think you get 1 or 2 clears that don't go out, and all of a sudden you have tired guys on the ice and the puck will, end up in the back of your net. But a lot of little things, winning face-offs, winning your wall battles, all those lead to good penalty killing.
We talk constantly about practice, using it to get better at some of the smaller details of the game. What were the details that you focused on as a staff today?
Well, when you look at the early part of practice and the shooting drills and the rush plays, just trying to make better plays. Recognizing when we're driving through, trying to get guys, the driver, trying to get him the puck, backing teams off. From there, we went in just wall play, winning battles on the wall, trying to get the puck off the wall and get it into key scoring areas. The opposition is trying to keep you there. You got to try to get off the walls.
One of the things that just talking to Miles about is, this impending return of Palat, that he's getting closer and stuff. And he said, he's a player that will come in and doesn't make the small mistakes that we keep making. Is that sort of part of the real value of him coming back soon?
Well, I think there's a lot that he can bring. I mean, there's a lot of experience there he can bring. To be able to play under pressure. He's played under pressure. I think I've mentioned a few times we didn't handle the pressure very well. If you can handle a puck under pressure, if you know that where your support is coming from, if you can trust your teammates are going to be in the right spot, it makes it a lot easier to play the game. He can make the small plays. He's used to playing, on the big stage and in the biggest games. And part of that experience for our guys is to be in those games. And we're in a lot of those games right now. We've taken some penalties now that we really have to clean up. Accidental high sticks. A puck over the glass that got us in trouble, once we took the lead. But a guy like Plot, I think, knows that the discipline for penalties, the discipline for handling the puck in those tight areas is a real important thing.
How valuable is it that one person can make such a difference on a team? How is that possible?
I don't think it is one person.
Okay.
I don't think it is. I think we're right now we're missing a Marino, we're missing a Bastion, we're missing a Plot. We're talking about the guys that we brought into higher level of compete, heavier bodies. So I don't think it's one person. We're mentioning what he can bring, but I think it's been a combination of 4 or 5 guys being out of lineup, and those guys, in a lot of cases, are the guys that we're looking to make us a lot harder team to play against.
Lydia, I'm sure you were watching the Bills game yesterday, and obviously you have unfortunate experience with similar types of things with Rich Peverley. Just wondering, as a coach, as a human being, your overall thoughts. I don't know if that's the right way of putting it, but just...
Yeah, and really I talked to the team about it today.
Really?
Because it's important in sports. Like, sports at that moment wasn't really important anymore.
Right.
It's the player's life. It's all the prayers and support that he was getting from teammates, from the team on the other sideline. That situation was eerily close to the Rich Peverley.
Yeah.
And the game doesn't mean anything anymore. I knew instantly that game wouldn't be played. The right decision is, first and foremost, is just pray for the guy that is down, pray for the teammate, and realize that this is a very unfortunate part of pro sports. And it's happened a number of times, and it's a tough thing to digest while it's going on.
I'm curious why, maybe you answered a little bit there, but why was it important for you to bring up with your team today? What context?
Just for the fact that you never know when something like that can happen. Like, enjoy your time as a player, enjoy the practice.
Right.
The focus on enjoying that dad's trip, your dad being around, just staying in the moment, staying present. That today's practice really means the most. It wasn't about, for me, I mentioned it's not about yesterday's ice time, or I didn't get on the power play, or the message is, enjoy the group you're with.
Right.
Enjoy the time you're sitting in the dressing room and you're kibitzing with the guy next to you, or you're having that dinner the night before the game, and you've got a small amount of time. Really, in the big picture, you've got a small amount of time as a pro player to achieve a common goal. So the message was, looking at last night's incident and just using that to move forward with us as a team.